Welcome to Twin Hills, North Texas Adventure Riders. So the idea of today is to basically try and make you guys a little more capable off-road. My name's Geordie Richardson. I'm an Australian-born native. I live here in Texas, been here 29 years. I've been adventure biking for probably the last 6 or 7. I've ridden the CDT, a lot of the BDRs. My passion is actually hard enduro and off-road, which is what this park mostly offers. So this is your group of instructors here. During the day, they may give you some pointers on some stuff that they see on your bike that's obviously no good. So we'll just go down the line here.
Yep, so I'm Ryan Williams,
Larry Davis, Seth Harwood,
Mike Lee, Josh Ruby.
We'll go over bike setup real quick. I know bikes are all different types, shapes, sizes, but basically the guys that build all these bikes, they build them for the average Joe, right? A lot of them have a suspension rating for 180 pounds roughly. Does anyone not know what sag is? So sag is take your bike up off the ground. When you set your bike down, it sags under its own weight. You get a measurement, right? Then when you add yourself and all your gear, roughly what you'd ride in every day, and you sit down on your bike, you want to make sure that the bike is not too low to where it's bottoming out, and you want to make sure it's too stiff that it's not bucking you every time you go over a jump or a bump. So find out what the specs on your bike are and set your sag correctly, because it will help you a lot just being off-road and riding and making sure you're not just hammering down. If you're a bigger guy, you're 6'4" and you weigh 250, your bike from factory is not going to be set up good enough. You're going to need to respring it. So next thing is your levers. So I see a lot of levers down here, and the trouble with down here is it's going to get you down here, right? So people think, when I'm going to get off-road, I'm going to stand and ride, I need to turn my levers down. Wrong. They need to be in the same position as if you were sitting riding, and if your levers are too high, you're not going to be able to get your elbows up. And we'll talk about riding position in a minute, right? So levers need to be in a good neutral position, not too low, not too high. You can figure it out. It's usually an 8mm and it's easy to adjust them, right? So I like my brake pedal to be just higher than my foot peg or level with it. Same thing with the shifter. I want to be able to just bring my foot forward and shift, or tuck it underneath and shift. If it's way down there, I'm digging for it all the time. It's too low. We are encouraging you today to stand on your pegs off-road. And the reason is, and we'll go over it in more depth later, is the ability to be able to control your bike with your foot pegs. You're not ever steering your bike, believe it or not. Unless you're in a parking lot and you're going to go turn, you should never subconsciously think, oh, I need to turn. Oh, I need to turn, right? It's going to happen with weighting your pegs and moving around, right? So the ideal position is to be neutral on your bike. You can get someone like Mike's doing right now, and I'm gonna dab my foot brake and my handbrake together at the same time. And the idea is for him to let go and me to be able to balance by myself, right? That's the perfect world right there. So neutral position, and you're gonna sit here, and you should always have a finger, whichever one you want to use, or both of them, one on your front brake and one on your clutch. So I'm riding down the road. I'm not like this. I'm not like this. I've got my elbows out and I'm in a good neutral position. If I hit a bump or something, I've got my elbows braced and in the right position. If they're down here, you've got less control. If they're exaggerated too far, you same problem. One extreme to the other. So your hands are light. Pretend you're holding an egg in your hands, right? You're not gripping the handlebars, and you'll get arm pump. Get your hands in a nice loose position so you can turn the throttle and you can apply your clutch. Because your clutch is all you go forward, stop. Everything is controlled by the clutch. And I'll ride around in here in a minute and do a balance demo. And then what we'll do is we'll break off. Half of you can go down that end, way down there. Half of you can go here. And what I want you to do is I want you to just ride straight ahead and try to stop and go, and stop and go. So I'm dragging my front brake. I've got my foot on my foot brake, and I'm going to stop and start again. And stop and start again. I'm going to turn my handlebar. Each time I might go a different direction, left or right. So if you're doing this, speed up, okay? So same thing, just drag your front brake and try to go and look up out in front of you. Don't look right at your front wheel all the time. And even if this is your pace, okay? Maybe this is as slow as you can go. Try to stop and go again. Try to stop and go again. Stop and go again. The one thing I'll tell you real quick, this is something we're going to do in a minute when we start doing figure eights. Balance is head over foot, okay? So if I want to balance here, I'm thinking about keeping my head over the foot that I'm weighting, right? So if I'm trying to balance here, when you turn a corner, ideally, yeah, like my foot's not even on the peg over here, right? So when you make a turn, think about putting your head, you're leaning the bike, keeping your body upright, and you're keeping your head over your foot, right? Like this. And then when I turn this way, my head is over my knee and my foot. And that will also help you balance. So I can balance there. The same here, I shift my weight over, my head is over my foot to the outside. Does that make sense? So head stays out here over my foot. And when we do figure eights here in a minute, you're gonna have to really exaggerate that. And the bigger the bike, the more exaggeration you're gonna have to do. So let's split half the group down there and kind of get in a bit of a line and half here, and we'll come through and try to do that. So you're going to balance, you're going to stop, start until you get comfortable at a comfortable pace. So you can keep your revs up, right? Like, so it doesn't matter how much your bike's revving. Hey, lock your knees out a little more. Lock your knees out. You're like this. This is what you look like. Do this. Faster. Get moving first and then slow down. There you go, now slow down. The idea is to keep my head, knee, foot all in line with each other. This isn't a slow race drill, right? So you can start out at a normal pace and work your way slower, right? But the whole idea of this is cornering. Cornering in the field, slow turn cornering. You come into a corner and it's a sharp corner, you've got the ability to be able to turn that corner without dabbing, which on some of the trails and switchbacks is a key thing, right? Same thing, body position first. So get into position, lock your knees out, butt back, chest down. So I'm basically going to over-exaggerate it here, like if you take my foot off that inside peg, I'm using that outside peg. Thank you, transition. Dragging my front brake, it's easier. You don't take your foot off the peg, I'm just doing that to demonstrate, right? With all my weight, and my head's over the knee, on that outside foot. Come around, look around the corner, head over foot, or head over knee. My weight's back here, right? Not like this. None of this, but further back, head over foot. Further back, head over foot. Walk it back. Stand up. Back. Get a feel for it.
Eventually you'll get it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel it for a second, but then it goes away.
Which means you just need to do more of it. Yes, if you get the feeling, go, oh yeah, I got it, and then you go, and then oh, I got it, and then you go. Right. Yeah, that's all right. Just keep working at it. You can drag your foot brake if this is too much for you, whatever you want to do. Yeah, okay. Yep. You may be trying to turn a little tight, but get your weight, get your head over your knee, right? And that'll keep you from falling in all the time. Head over your knee.
So we got Todd Tarver with KTM in North Texas who donated these helmets, correct?
Yep.
And then also
Todd
two.
Tarver, Burt Reynolds.
Right.
They're KTM Husqvarna gas at one dealership and they're Honda Kawasaki at the other dealership. So just keep that in mind.
We got kind of a relationship with a company called Odensberg. You may have seen Odensberg on Amazon. They sell a lot of motorcycle gear. We're getting a ton of gear from Odensberg. I have handlebar bags. We've got tool roll kits. We've got 2 7-liter bags. You'll see on my bike, I got the 7 liters on my crash bar right there. And then I've got a 15-liter on the back holding all my tools. There's a 15-liter bag. I actually had more gear, but that's all I could fit to bring out here. So it's good stuff. So if you win something, just do me a favor, make a post on it with a picture and thank Henry, thank Odensberg. And then we'll just keep getting more stuff like this to give out.